between knowing something is true and being allowed to live like it's true. You may already know that something in your life needs to change. You've known it for a while now. But knowing it and actually living differently because of it, those are two separate things. Sometimes the gap between them is the hardest place a person can stand. On January 1st, 1863, President Abraham Lincoln signed the Emancipation Proclamation. It declared in writing that enslaved people across the Confederate States were free. In Texas, many enslaved people heard about this. The news had traveled. Newspapers had printed it. Some of them already knew the words that declared their freedom existed. They knew it was true. They were not yet allowed to live it. For 2.5 more years, they kept working the same fields, under the same overseers, in the same bondage. Because there was no one there to enforce the words that had already set them free. The Civil War ended in April of 1865. General Robert E. Lee surrendered at Appomattox. The fighting was over. But Texas was far from the front lines, isolated, remote, with very few Union soldiers anywhere near it. And many enslavers in Texas made a choice. They simply didn't tell people, or they told them, and then refused to let it change anything. The law had already spoken, the fields had not yet heard it obeyed. Has something in your life already been decided? Something already true, already settled, while you're still waiting for someone else to actually honor it? For 2.5 years, that gap stayed open across an entire state. Freedom existed, on paper, in ink, in a proclamation already signed. But it had not yet walked through the door. What most people are never taught is what happened a week before the famous order was read. On June 5th, 1865, a brigade of the 25th Army Corps arrived in Galveston. More than 1,000 soldiers, most of them black men, many of them formerly enslaved themselves. They had known the chains themselves, and now they carried the order to break them. They took control of the city. They chased the remaining Confederate government out toward Mexico. And as they moved through Texas, they told people what had already been true for 2.5 years. Historians estimate that thousands of enslaved people escaped to freedom because of what these soldiers did before any official order was ever read aloud. And then, on June 19th, Major General Gordon Granger arrived to make it official. On June 19th, 1865, General Granger's men posted General Order Number 3, around the city of Galveston. The words were simple, direct, and after 2.5 years of waiting, finally enforced. The people of Texas were informed that, by order of the United States, all enslaved people were free. That the relationship between former enslavers and the enslaved was now finished entirely. Free, finally spoken aloud. Some of the people who heard those words already knew them. They had known for years. But there is a difference between knowing the truth and hearing it spoken aloud by someone with the power to finally let you live it. That is what June 19th, 1865 actually was. Not the beginning of freedom, the end of being forced to wait for it. What truth are you still waiting for permission to live? Not everyone needs permission the way they did. But almost everyone knows the specific ache of a truth they haven't been allowed or haven't allowed themselves to fully live yet. The words were already true. They only needed to be spoken. A year after that order was read, freed people in Texas held the very first Juneteenth celebration. They didn't wait for anyone's permission to celebrate. And in the years that followed, when cities tried to push their gatherings to the outskirts of town, they responded by buying the land themselves. They did not ask for space. They purchased it and kept it. In Houston, in 1872, formerly enslaved people signed a deed for 10 acres of land. They called it Emancipation Park. In Austin, families did the same. These were not symbolic gestures. This was permanence. Ground that could never again be taken from them, set aside specifically to remember the exact moment freedom finally arrived. They gathered there for reunions, for people separated during enslavement, searching for family members they hadn't seen in years. For barbecues, for parades, for the specific joy of being together, with nothing left to hide or apologize for.
Remembrance is not only grief. Remembrance can be a celebration that lasts.
In 1980, Texas became the first state to make Juneteenth an official holiday. In 2021, it became a national one. More than a century after that order was first read aloud in Galveston. The rest of the country finally caught up to what those soldiers, those families, that single afternoon had already known. Juneteenth isn't only a story about the past. It's a reminder that being told something is true and being allowed to live it are not always the same moment, and that the space between them is exactly where courage, community, and persistence do their quiet, necessary work. Free, finally and fully. The order has already been given. The only question left is what you do with the truth you've already been carrying.
If this story moved you, I'd love to hear from you. What does Juneteenth mean in your family? Or what truth are you finally ready to live out loud? Tell me in the comments. And if you want more real history told with care, subscribe. There's a new story every day.